Nobody is coming to save your career. Your development is your responsibility, not your employer's gift. The professionals commanding premium compensation own their growth completely, investing aggressively in themselves regardless of company support. Do you own your development, or are you renting it from your employer? Waiting for your company to provide learning opportunities is career suicide. In the area with a half-life of professional skills has dropped just to 5 years and continues to shrink. Researchers from the World Economic Forum reveal that 50% of all employees will need reskilling by 2030. Yet only 21% of the workers are taking personal responsibility for their skill development. What happens to your employability when your current skills become obsolete? The dependency mindset creates professionals who become victims of circumstance, their careers rising and falling based on whether employees choose to invest in them rather than their own proactive development. Those who abdicate responsibility from their learning experiences have higher vulnerability to job displacement and lower recovery rates when roles disappear. Every month you spend waiting for your employee-provided development instead of taking ownership of your own growth is systematically transferring control of your career to external forces, ensuring that you will be reactive rather than proactive when the market shifts, demands new capabilities that you don't possess. It's coming to the end of the year when we think about what we've done and what we're going to do. When the year closes out, the light in North America gets shorter and shorter. We should now look to see where we are going. Understanding that the world is changing at ever increasing rates. When I graduated college, what we did here did not exist. When my son graduates, who knows what will be there? But it is important for us never to lean on our laurels, but always continue to get better. Now is the time to look at what you're doing, what you're having, what you're creating, and figure out what you can learn next. What's the next thing that allows you to increase your knowledge? What is the small thing that you could do to really fundamentally change your trajectory in the next 10 years? For me, in the beginning, it was learning video when video started to become efficient, and then learning editing so I could do it quickly and then explain it to others. And then learning all of the intricacies of how web works. And then learning how the social media systems interact to create something called viral social stacking. And then slowly learning each one of the platforms to understand what they are. And then creating fundamental ideas on digital marketing in a larger format. Each one of these was a quarter's worth of work that I focused on something to teach me better. An exploration of tools to allow a distributed company to work. An exploration of what the best project management software is for my company, who we joke has just enough nerds and more creatives. An idea and understanding of how to work with creatives by working with artists in a volunteer organization. And now is the time I start looking at what my quarterly goals are going to be for next year, both professionally and personally. What are the things that I can learn to make my company better? What are the things that I can deep dive into to provide extra ability? To support what I do now, but open up opportunities in the future. This quarterly learning that I've created is one of the most important things I ever do. Sometimes it's a complete failure and I'm utterly bad at it, but I still learn. Sometimes it's going off in directions that I've never ever thought about, but it gives me opportunities to find out other things. Sometimes it's shadowing something I've never done before. If you've ever shadowed someone who's really good, you'll always learn something. I shadowed an individual who ran a fun park for 2 days. Why? because he has to deal with all sorts of interactions on a regular basis. He deals with the public and employees and issues and risks, and all of it has to be done on the fly. If you ever want to do that, find a Ren fair somewhere. That's another level of fascination. Or sit down and spend a day with an artisan. How they work, what they think, and how they figure out what needs to be done. How they learn and what the stories are. Always be curious and start going outside of your industry and ideas to learn other things. The greatest innovations, the greatest ideas are when two separate industries come together to make something. Steve Jobs is famous for talking about art and industry. But in all reality, it started much before that. Lord Byron's daughter, Lady Lovelace, was a combination of Byron, a poet, and her mother, a scientist. And you may not know much about Lady Lovelace, but she was the one that first predicted, suggested, and wrote about the creation of computers. Byron, one of the great poets of all time, produced a child that saw the ability to create one of the greatest technologies that changed the world. The interaction of math, science, and the ability to dream creates how I communicate with you today. Coming from different worlds and learning different things allows you to bring more value, more advantage, and more art into whatever you're doing. So now, as this year comes to a close, as we start to look back, what are the things that you want to do next year, just for your work and for your personal, that you want to do next year to get better at what you do? To learn something and create new ideas and new opportunities, to really fundamentally change how you're doing. And sometimes they may be just learning how to bake bread. That was one of my things that I learned, but it taught me tremendous things about timing, about percentages, and about people's preferences. And that allowed me to take back and build a company from. We are getting to the end of the year also, and this conversation that we've had for the last year is about to complete. And this is a learning opportunity for me that forced me to learn many new things and employ several new people. We're going to be talking about that and what my plans are for next year. Because the other part about planning is you have to share it. You have to share it and make people understand and hold yourself accountable for it. Because the beauty of this, the power of this, the true understanding of what this is that you will continue to grow and become better. And sometimes you may not have a good idea of what's happening, but you may know that something's coming. And lo and behold, it will arrive. And you will be able to say, yeah, I've done that before. The video I just did, the last one, is all about volunteering. And it's set up that way to talk to you about learn how to do it. And you can volunteer in that way. So go ahead, spend a little time and figure out what the 4 things that you want to learn in your company and what the 4 things you want to learn for your personal, and make a plan for each one of those. Maybe you take a month off, maybe you take the summer off for vacation, maybe it's 3 and 3. But if next year at this time, be able to look back and say, wow, I finished that. Look at that, I learned something. And invariably, it will fold into what you do. Power of that is amazing. It's a simple way of continuing to improve and making yourself more valuable to your community, to your organization, and to yourself. Put your ideas in the comments below. I'd love to see them. I'll make a video on what I'm going to do next year and share it with you. But let's continue this conversation. I look forward to talking to you soon.
Thanks for tuning into today's episode on the Strategy Session, where we take your business from stuck to unstoppable. Here's another video I think you'd enjoy. If you found these insights valuable, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the bell for notifications on our latest videos. Remember, you're not just marketing, you're making history with Venture Gained.